here from Fawn with a video for Simon Says Stamp. Today I am so excited because we are introducing a brand new stamp and coordinating die set called Snow Bunnies that's exclusive for Simon Says Stamp's STAMPtember event and only available for a limited time. These little bunnies are absolutely adorable, so let's go ahead and check them out. This set has 3 different styles of bunnies. We have one reaching up high, one reaching towards the middle, and this cute one looking straight at us with his little ears down is so adorable. We have the snow bunny or snowman that they've made there, and then 2 different sizes of tree that are perfect for setting the scenes and also having the bunnies decorate. We have little arms that you can add to the snow bunny, and then we've got a tree topper for the trees and some ornaments that the bunnies can add and decorate the tree with, which is so super cute. We have this cute little flower which looks adorable like a little poinsettia in the snow bunny's ear. We've got a carrot wrapped up as a gift, and then an extra carrot which is cute as a gift or as little ornaments on the tree. We have a candy cane and then a bunch of different sizes and styles of snowflakes so that you can mix and match them and create a really cute snowy scene. This set has some super cute sentiments. We have Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, and then Let It Snow. And these are separated so you can stack them like that or make a longer sentiment however you like it on your card. We have We Wish You and then a smaller style of Merry Christmas, and you can mix and match the We Wish You with the 2 styles of Merry Christmas. And then of course, and a Happy New Year. We have From Every Bunny and then To Some Bunny Special, which is so super sweet. We have an exclamation point that's perfect for the ends of the phrases, and I also love this little heart for putting at the ends of the sentiments as well. Next, we're going to be using some Copic markers to color in these cute images so that we can get them ready to put on 2 cards that we're going to make in this video. We're going to make a card and a cool interactive FLIPPIN awesome card too, which is so much fun, and I can't wait to create it with you guys. Now, one of the things I really love about coloring in these bunnies is I love mixing and matching different shades of brown and different shades of gray, and so we're going to be doing that with these cute little bunnies today. One of the things that I like to do when I'm coloring these bunnies is I take my nice light pink marker and I add that pink marker to the inside of the bunny's ear right there. Then when I'm going in with my grays or my browns, I can color around that pink area, leaving it nice and bright still, and I think it's a really, really cute look on the bunny. So here I'm using some warm grays, and he might be my favorite. I really like the warm grays on these bunnies, and they look really cute on the snow with the gray and white mix and match. For their bellies, I like to use very light pinks or very light browns, and I just add a little bit of darkness around the arm and then just blend it out with a super, super light color, almost so that it looks like it's going into white. Now here I'm adding all red details on them. I really like how the hats and the scarves are all going to coordinate. Now for this little guy, I'm sticking to really light gray markers and then blending them out with the colorless blender so that he looks like a white bunny that's maybe a little bit dirty, and that way he'll still stick out from my white snow, but he has more of a white snow bunny look. Now to help our snowman, or snow bunny in this case, look really nice, bright and white, we're going to take a really, really light blue-green marker, or a really light blue marker would work as well, and we've just lined the inside edges, and it makes that white pop and just look incredible and shiny and pretty. So I love doing that, and it's a nice, quick and easy to add some color to that little snow bunny. Now for these Christmas trees, I like to either do bright greens like these or more olivey greens, and so I'm going to color these trees in 2 different ways. Now you're going to notice that I always like to lay down my lightest color first, and the reason for that is it wets the paper and it helps me blend my colors out. Then I'll do my darkest, my medium, and then my light right out into the bottom. Now my markers were kind of far from each other, so I'm touching my lightest one to the darkest one to create a medium shade and help me blend those colors together. Now we're going to stick with traditional reds and greens for all of these guys, and you'll see that I'm doing all of my red areas at once because I want to use all of the same red markers for a nice cohesive look. These are the same red markers that we used on the scarves and the Santa hats too. Then we'll move on to using the same greens that we used in that bright green tree. That way, once again, everything's going to mix and match. So we'll use the green on the present and at the tops of the carrots, and then of course we'll use some oranges to color in those cute little carrot presents. These are the coordinating dies for the set, which you can bend apart at the tabs or use your wire snips to separate. We're going to take these dies and we're going to line them up with our cute little bunnies, hold it in place with some low tack tape. I'm using some post-it note tape here, and then run those through our die cut machine. Then we can pop them out of the dies and you'll see just how adorable they look all cut out. There are a ton of fun ways to mix and match these elements in this set. You can have the bunnies hanging out together, you can have them decorating the Christmas trees, or also decorating the snowman. So here we've got the bunny holding his little twig arm or the little flower to put on him. We can layer the star topper and the ornaments onto the tree, or even put the flower in the little snow bunny's hair. And here you can see those cute little bunnies decorating the tree. I love the one that's reaching up into the air. I love him holding the candy cane, or even having them hold the little presents is absolutely adorable. Now right here we're going to be using the brand new Crunchy Leaf ink, and this is a Copic friendly ink in a brown color instead of the black that we stamped in earlier. And so we're going to be coloring these bunnies in the same exact way, but when we use the brown ink you can see how beautiful and soft they look. So on one of the cards, the FLIPPIN Awesome card, we're going to be using the bunnies that were stamped in the jet black ink, and on this card, the first one we're going to be using this awesome Crunchy Leaf ink for a softer look with the bunnies, which I think is just so pretty. We're also going to take a white gel pen and add some little white accents and also some details to the scarf, adding some little white stripes there. Now here you can see the comparison between those two bunnies. We have the one stamped in black and then the other one stamped in brown, and I love that they both look amazing just depending on what card you're going for. So I went ahead and stamped and colored in that Crunchy Leaf ink a bunch of other images from the set, and now we're going to start working on our card. So this is a portrait stitched hillside backdrop, and we cut that from some white cardstock. We're also going to take some more white cardstock and die cut that with a stitched hillside border. And you can see that both of these curves match each other, so I love that you can mix and match them. We'll add some tape runner to the back of that stitched hillside backdrop and then layer that extra snowy bank behind it, which is going to make it look like there's all these piles of snow for our scene. Then to add a little more detail to the snow, we're going to take a nice light blue-green marker like we did earlier and just line the tops of those hills, and that's really going to make the white of that cardstock pop. Here is the Happy Holiday sentiment, which I think might be my favorite from the set. We're going to ink that up with some black licorice ink and then stamp that right onto those snowbanks. Now it's time to work on the sky. And so this card was inspired by two people from the design team, Grace and Elena. So Grace had these really cool bunnies stamped in the brown ink and this really amazing sky, and then Elena had this really cool layout, and I thought it would be fun to be inspired by both of my friends and mix and match their ideas. So here we have the cracked pistachio ink and then some scattered straw ink, and I would have never thought to combine these two distress ink colors, but they look amazing. Then to darken up the sky a little bit at the top, I took some peacock feathers and put that around the edges, blended it out again with the cracked pistachio, and then you can see that that scattered straw is giving it almost like a cool glow at the bottom. To create some texture, we're going to take a spray bottle and just spray some water right onto that ink. It's going to react with the ink, and we can take a paper towel and just pick up any of the excess, and that's going to look like snow way far back in the background. I also wanted to add a little bit of sparkle. So this is some liquid Stardust. We're going to shake it up and then add it down to the craft mat. We'll spray a little bit of water onto the craft mat and we're going to mix those two together. This way the water is going to react with that ink, but it's going to have this really cool sparkly texture to it. So we're going to take a tiny little paintbrush, mix the water and the liquid Stardust together, then tap the end of that paintbrush, creating splatters all over that sky. And these splatters are now going to react with the ink but have a cool sparkle. So we have our plain water splatters, our sparkle splatters, and now we're going to add some white splatters. So here I have this Copic white stuff, but white acrylic paint would work perfect too. I just couldn't find it. So I'm going to add it to my mat and mix it with a little bit of water and do the same thing. We've got our small paintbrush and we're going to tap the edge, and this is going to create splatters that are going to be white on there. So I love the mix of white, sparkle, and then just that kind of distress reaction with plain water. It's such a pretty look and it looks completely magical. Next, we've added foam squares to the back of that hillside that we were working on earlier, and we're going to layer that right on top of that cool sky, and it looks absolutely incredible. Now it's time to take all of those cute colored images and start to form the scene. And I absolutely love putting that Christmas tree there and then having the two bunnies decorate it. So we're going to kind of put the bunnies on either side of the tree and then give them both ornaments to decorate the tree with. We'll add another tree to the background to help fill the scene, and now we'll work on the bottom portion of the card. So we're going to tuck those Christmas trees into that cool little stitched hillside and then add our snow bunny and our other bunny on with some foam squares. And now we can add the presents. So we're going to have a present under the tree and then a cute little present behind the bunny. Of course, the carrot wrapped up as a present, and we're going to layer some of those behind the bunny up top too. And then our last little finishing touch is to add one more little carrot tucked into that snowbank. I think it's fun to decorate the insides of cards too here. So we have a standard size card base at 5.5 by 4.25. We're going to stamp "To Some Bunny Special" and then that cute little carrot on the inside. It's super quick, but it makes the inside nice and special. So now that we've decorated that part, we can add some tape runner to the card base and layer our whole scene on top. Our last finishing touch is to take a glitter pen and add a little subtle shimmer to the very tops where we added that blue-green marker earlier. I should have done this earlier, but I forgot about it, but it just adds a little extra sparkle that goes along with that sparkle that we splattered onto the sky. And so now the card is all done. It says "Happy Holidays to Some Bunny Special." It's so sweet. I love the soft look of it with the stamping in the brown and the really, really cool kind of blue, green, yellowy sky. So much fun. I had such a blast making this card. Next up, we're going to work on creating an interactive Flippin' Awesome card. But the first thing we need to do is some stamping. And so we're going to be doing some white heat embossing on white. And the reason for this is we're going to be doing Emboss Resist. So by heat embossing on white and then covering it on ink, that white heat embossing is going to pop on through. So we're going to stamp in some nice clear embossing ink right onto our white cardstock. We'll add some white heat embossing powder, and then we'll go ahead and stamp a bunch of snowflakes in the sky. The reason I like to add the white heat embossing powder to the sentiment first is that it helps me see it a little bit more clearly, because it is a little bit hard to see when you're stamping clear ink on white cardstock. So now I went ahead and have added a bunch of different sizes of snowflakes, added some white heat embossing powder, we're heating it up, and now this piece is ready to go. Next, we've die cut the main panel from the Flipping Awesome die. We've die cut 4 of those, and we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be stamping our snowflakes onto here, and then adding white heat embossing powder, and then heating that up. We're also going to be doing that on this stitched rectangle that's a part of the Flippin' Awesome add-on. If you've never made a Flippin' Awesome card, make sure to check out our intro video. We'll link it in the description below. Onto the smaller square panels, we just added snowflakes, but onto this longer piece, we want to add the sentiment and a Happy New Year. Now, this was a long sentiment, but I wanted it to be stacked, so I just went ahead and just snipped that stamp right in half. I can put it stacked for this card, and then when I want to have it long, I can just then put it right back together like a little puzzle piece, so you can use it both ways. We've added our sentiment and the snowflakes. We'll add our white heat embossing powder and then heat that up. We'll also heat up all of the smaller squares too, and now we're ready to do our Emboss Resist. So we're going to be using Fish Tank, Peacock, and Merman inks and some blender brushes. And you'll see how cool it is as we bring that blue ink onto the sky that those white snowflakes are resisting the ink and just popping out. I love watching this. It's just like magic. It looks even cooler in fast motion here. So we've laid down our darkest blue. Next we're going to go in with the peacock color, and at the very top the merman. I love how this sentiment is just appearing. It's so pretty. Then we'll go back and forth between all 3 colors, blending and smoothing out those edges. The cool thing about these inks is once they dry, they end up looking incredible. Now this is a little bit of a different sky than I normally create for a wintry card, but I think it's so pretty and bright and happy. I'm in love with it, and I can't wait to use it on all of my winter cards coming up this season. Next, we're going to spray some water onto our mat and then pick it up with a small paintbrush, tap the paintbrush, and create splatters, just kind of like we did on the other card. But we're just using plain water this time. And the reason for that was I didn't want any sparkles or white paint to get in the way of that embossing that we did. But I feel like adding just a little bit of those little spray marks really gives it a nice texture, and it looks like snow way off in the distance. Next, we're going to be repeating the same idea on those 4 square panels and our longer rectangular stitched panel. So we'll do our fish tank ink, then our peacock, then our merman. The cool thing is the sky is going to line up on all of these pieces, and it's going to help us integrate the Flipping Awesome into a scene, which looks really, really cool. To help keep it cohesive with the sky that we created earlier, we're also going to add some water to the mat, pick it up with a small paintbrush, and splatter that on there. And we're going to repeat that on all 4 of those square panels, and then repeat the same thing on our rectangular panel too. So we'll add our 3 colors of ink, and then we'll also splatter our water. In this Flippin' Awesome card, I want it to look like the bunnies are decorating this snowman. So we're going to ink up that bunny and then take a stamp chamois and just remove the ink from the eyes and the nose with the chamois. I always like to take my finger and just pat it a little bit just to make sure it's nice and dry. Then we'll be able to stamp that bunny without it having its eyes and its nose. Then we're going to repeat the same idea. So we're going to ink it up, but this time we're only going to remove the nose area with our chamois. So I'm just going to take the very little kind of corner of the chamois, remove the nose. I'll take my finger again and kind of pat it dry. And then once that's done, we can go ahead and stamp, and now he's going to have the eyes, but not the nose. Then we can stamp out 2 more bunnies that have the eyes and the nose there, and then we're going to be decorating the last one with some cute little arms as well. Since the bunny looked a little bit plain without his eyes and his nose, I thought it would be nice to add some little stripes. So I'm just taking a thin black marker and just going through and adding some stripes onto the scarf. And I'm recreating an idea by Megan today. I thought it was so cute how she added the stripes and how she erased the face from the snow bunny. Absolutely adorable and so much fun. So here you can see when we take a red marker and color in how it looks like he has a cute little striped scarf. So we'll repeat the same idea, drawing the stripes in and coloring him in. And now you can see that we have our 4 little snow bunnies ready to go. We've got the one without the face, the one with the eyes, the one with the nose, and then the one that we're going to add the arms to in just a little bit. Next, our Flippin' Awesome panels need some snow, so we use that same panel die and die cut some Pixie Dust Sparkle cardstock, which is going to be the perfect glistening snow. We're going to die cut that with a stitched hillside border, so we'll find that perfect placement on there. We can hold it in place with some low tack tape and then run it through the die cut machine. Then we'll have a hill. Then we can flip that one over and just cut a hill from the bottom side of it to add to the next panel. And then we'll repeat that with our other piece as well and have 4 hillsides. We'll add some tape runner to each of these hills and then layer them on each of the panels. Now, when you flip a Flippin' Awesome card, you end up seeing the back of the panel. Well, the backs of these panels are all inky and they don't look very nice. So I thought it would be fun to take some snow day paper and just add it to the back. So we're going to pick out that red snowflake paper. One, it has the snowflakes, which totally goes along with the scene. And then 2, that red is going to match the red scarf and the red Santa hat. So I love the kind of turquoise and pop of red. It kind of feels like a vintagey Christmas thing. So we'll add some tape runner to the back of that panel, and then we'll layer that beautiful pattern paper right on there. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Now we only need to layer the pattern paper on the back of 3 of these pieces because the other one is going to be glued completely flat onto the Flippin' Awesome mechanism. So you'll see I forgot and cut an extra red one, but I can just use that for another project later. Now it's my favorite part, and that's creating the cool little scenes that are going to change. So we're going to start off with the plain-faced snow bunny, and we're going to add a little bunny there kind of reaching up because he's going to be putting the coals on the eyes. Now here you'll see I'm taking really good care to make sure I repeat the same exact placement of the carrot and the snow bunny so that as you're flipping it, it really looks like everything's being added to each panel. So now we're going to take those cute little stick arms and add those onto our snow bunny for the last panel. Then we can put him in the exact same placement that we did the others and add that little carrot right on there. The last thing we need to decorate is the panel that's going to be pulling out at the end, and that's where we have that stitched rectangle that says "and a Happy New Year." So we're going to take a stitched hillside border and we're going to die cut another piece of that Pixie Dust Sparkle cardstock. We'll add some tape runner to the back and then layer that onto the scene. And then we're going to take our Christmas tree and put the little topper on there, and this time instead of ornaments we're going to put carrots as the ornaments, which is absolutely adorable. And so then we can add these guys into our scene, our Christmas tree and our bunny, and of course that carrot wrapped as a present that always cracks me up. Now it's time to work on our Flippin' Awesome mechanism. So this is the main Flippin' Awesome die. We've die cut it out of some 80-pound white cardstock, and the die creates some score lines for us. And there's 4 score lines kind of in the center of this die. So we're going to go ahead and fold along all 4 of those lines, and then we're going to fold along them going in the other direction. By doing this, it really gives the Flippin' Awesome mechanism a great flip. So make sure to bend them in both directions. Next, we're going to take some tape runner, and we're first going to add some tape runner all along that bottom square underneath that score line all the way to the end, avoiding those tabs on the side. We'll add tape runner all over that square, and our square panel is going to fit perfectly right on there. Then we can take our tape runner and we're going to add tape runner between those other score lines in 3 strips. So we'll add 1, then 2, and then 3. And that's where we're going to be attaching our other panels. So our last panel gets attached completely down, and our other panels are attached just on the side there. So we're going to line it up right with the score line and then press down so that adhesive picks up the edge. And we'll take our last one and do the same thing, line it up with the score line and press down. And now all of our panels are in perfect placement. The next step is to work with those two little tabs that are sticking out. Now on these tabs, that's the only part that's going to be attached to the card base, so we want to use some nice strong tape. So this is some 1/4" double-sided tape, and we're going to add 2 pieces to each of these tabs so that those tabs are completely covered with adhesive. Then to form the mechanism, all we have to do is take that piece that has no panels on it and we're going to flip that back behind, and then our 2 tabs are going to wrap around and hug it. But before we start putting this whole thing together, we need to work on our scene. Because we're trying to incorporate this right into the scene, you can see how those skies are perfectly lining up. We also need to create a sparkly snowbank for the bottom of this card. So I'm just kind of lining it up and eyeballing it a little bit with that stitched hillside border. Moving it over to my sparkly piece, I can add some low tack tape and then run that through the die cut machine, having a really awesome, cool, snowy snowbank to add to the bottom of the scene. We'll just add some tape runner to that and attach that right on there. And then for the card base, we've gone ahead and die cut some white cardstock to be 5.5 by 4.25, a standard size card. And then we're going to take some more of that pixie dust sparkle cardstock. I was just in a very sparkly mood, and we're going to use that as our card base. Now to make sure that our panel sticks really nicely to this kind of gritty, sparkly paper, we're going to add some liquid glue to the back of this whole panel. It's going to be a nice solid hold, and we can layer that on there. And so now we have this beautiful sparkle going all around the scene and also that sparkle snowbank at the bottom. Next, I want to add a little bit more decoration to our Flippin' Awesome mechanism. So I'm going to take that same pattern paper from Snow Day that we covered the backs of those Flippin' Awesome panels with, and we're going to die cut the Flippin' Awesome mechanism. But all we need is just the bottom part. So we're just going to trim off about 1/4 inch below that last score line, and we're going to layer this on top. The reason we didn't just create the mechanism from this really pretty pattern paper is that pattern paper isn't quite strong enough. So that way we can take the pattern paper, layer it onto the white cardstock, and have the look of pattern paper, but the strength of cardstock so that the Flippin' Awesome mechanism works really great. So we're going to layer that right on there, and then we can start to work on attaching our mechanism to the card. So we're going to peel up the liner paper on both of the tabs. Then we'll take the white piece that doesn't have panels on it and fold it behind, and then take those tabs and hug it around, and then we can attach it onto the card base. And here we're going to take some time and be really careful to make sure to line up the sky and the snowbanks. Once we have it in perfect placement, we can press down really well and attach that onto the card base. And then here I just had to take a peek and see how the Flippin' Awesome was working, and it's so super cute. So the next thing we need to do is take that and a Happy New Year panel and add that on there. And you'll see that we're going to be tucking that right behind that last panel. There's kind of like a little pocket area. So we'll take that piece and just tuck it right in there, and then we can line it up onto the Flippin' Awesome mechanism. So I'm just going to repeat that one more time so you can see it. We've tucked it behind. That way it's going to move nice and smoothly and glide really well, and then we can attach it on to the piece that pulls out as you use the mechanism. The Flippin' Awesome die comes with some decorative pull tabs, and I love this because the arrow lets the recipient know that there's something that they can do with it here. So we're going to add some tape runner to the back of that piece, of course cut from some more pixie dust sparkle. I was in a sparkly mood, and we'll layer that right on there. Our last little finishing touch is to add a cute little bunny, and we're going to add a little carrot present at the bottom too. So we've got a third bunny kind of helping decorate, and you can see how he really kind of helps incorporate the Flippin' Awesome mechanism into the scene as well. And this is the finished card, and it's so super cute. And oh my goodness, when you pull the tab, I love the flip book effect. How cool is it when the little coal eyes appear and the carrot nose and then the little stick arms? And when that little bunny pops out at the end, it just makes me giggle every time. This card was so much fun to make. It's so super cute and fun. I just love these bunnies. Next up, we have some awesome inspiration from the design team. First up, we have a card by Audrey, and I absolutely adore her craft-colored sky. It's just beautiful. This scene by Lynette is so sweet, and I love the bold black and white sentiment at the top of the card. Here, Kara did some no-line coloring that makes it look like the most perfect little storybook. It's so adorable. I love how Melissa put a tropical spin with palm trees on this. This is perfect for somebody who lives in Florida. Here is that super cute card by Elena that inspired me to make my card today. And then here is an adorable card set by Elise. I love how the cards have their beautiful ink sky with those fun little snowy patterns in the background. I love how the bunny was giving one a present or putting a little star topper on the tree or giving a little stick arm to the snowman. Just so sweet. Here, I love how Jen created a magic picture changer, and when you pull the tab, the snow bunny appears. It's so cute and fun. This is the card by Grace that inspired me to make mine today. I love the colors that she did, and I love how she used a center picture window for this. That die is so perfect for a cute little snowy scene. I love Megan's clever interactive card. When you pull the little opening to the bunny hole, you see the cute scene inside with the Christmas tree and presents. So adorable. Melissa used the scallop box card pop-up to create an adorable three-dimensional snowy scene. I love the little rabbit holding the carrot and the mountains in the background. It's so much snowy fun. Here, I love the Flippin' Awesome card created by Shari. She stamped in the new River Rock ink, giving the bunnies a soft look, and each little scene is just so adorable. I love them decorating the snowman, and then of course the little snowman at the end holding the carrot and the candy cane is just too cute. Here, Letitia's background is so cool. I love that ink blending and the cute little bunny decorating the tree. And this is the card by Megan that inspired us to make our Flippin' Awesome card today. It is absolutely incredible, and I love that bold blue sky. Jen created a center picture window card. It says "To Somebody Special," and then when you open it up, you have this cute little scene with that cool three-dimensional window in the middle. I just love it. I can't wait to see what you guys create with Snow Bunnies, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!